Alright, let's continue with this lesson. There is another guy called Karl Wernicke. He was a Polish neurosurgeon assistant. He was not even a doctor. And he too discovered an area in the left hemisphere of the brain that has to do with language. What do you think scientists called this area? Bingo! It is called Wernicke's area. Conclusion then. There are two language-related areas in the left hemisphere of the brain. One is called Broca's area and the other one is called Wernicke's area. Why am I telling you this? Well, there is a pathology, a language disorder called aphasia. Aphasia is the loss or impairment of the ability to use spoken and written words. Okay? So, there are certain behaviors of aphasic patients. They behave in certain ways. And we're going to study these ways. Okay? Let me connect my cable. Just a minute. There. Okay. Let's check all of them. The very first one says anomia. Anomia. A meaning no and nomia meaning name. So inability to name things. Problem with word finding. They know what they want to say, but they can't find the words to say it. Sometimes they can be cued or recalled by gestures. Okay? My father is a living example of that. All his life, since I was a kid, I remember that he would ask things by using his hands and showing things. He could just not remember the names. Sometimes people recur to certain words like maera or thingy. But this is normal. What we're discussing here is not normal. It's a chronic problem. Okay? Because I usually have this problem. My mother used to have that. But not in this way. This is chronic. Okay? Another problem that aphasic patients show is paraphasia. Paraphasia is the use of word substitutions. These patients may use a word that sounds like the target word, or they may use a word that means something similar. For example, I remember my mother would say, "Pásame esa pera," and it was a manzana, for example. Yes, they don't sound similar, but they are similar fruit in her head. Yes, or we say things like that rhyme, for example. And instead of saying something, we say something else. Yes, that is called paraphasia. Another type of aphasic patients show neologism. And what is neologism? It's the use of made-up words confidently as though they were the correct word. For example, chemehen. Chemehen is a word that my aunts use a lot. And whenever they would say chemehen, I would hear the word, but I never understood what they meant. And it's not in a dictionary. It's a new word. Okay? And what does it mean? Well, after many years, I discovered that chemehen means maera or thingy. Alright, so, and these patients use these words as if everyone understands what they are saying. And that is confusing. There is another one called agrammatism. They leave out the function words, and remember function words are prepositions, articles, conjunctions, etc. And they use broken speech, and it's very common in non-fluent aphasic patients. Okay. Who are the non-fluent aphasic patients? The ones who suffer from Broca's aphasia, meaning people who have injured the left side of their brain in Broca's area. When they suffer there, they suffer from Broca's aphasia. And one characteristic of Broca's aphasia is non-fluent aphasic patients. Okay. We will see examples of that, but first we're going to finish this. Her, for example. Okay, I said we will finish first. Wernicke's aphasia. Wernicke's aphasia shows fluent speech, but meaningless. Okay. See, poor lady, she repeats the words, but they are meaningless. Okay. I will write the links down so that you can watch the videos at your own pace, but I don't have much time, so okay. So agrammatism then is a characteristic of Broca's aphasic patients. There's another one. This is also another video, but this shows Broca's aphasia. Okay, I'm going to skip that and continue. Remember, you can watch the videos later. Okay, so there are two, before we go to fitness page, two types of patients, and they are Broca's aphasic patients who are non-fluent, have many problems trying to express themselves. They forget words. Sometimes they write it down and there is no problem with communication. Sometimes they can't even write it down. And Wernicke's aphasia, which has to do with fluent speakers but totally meaningless. They don't make any sense. Okay, and we're going to see examples of those two. Now I'm going to tell you the story of Phineas Gage. Phineas Gage was an American foreman. A foreman is a person who is in charge of many other people. The boss of the employees, for example. Kind of. And, the United States wanted to have a train that would go from the east, New York, to the west, Los Angeles, crossing the whole United States. But what did they find in the middle? They found Rocky Mountains in the middle. So they hired, at a very low price, many Chinese and black people to do the hard work. Well, this guy, Phineas Gage, he was in charge of many people, and he would do his job on a daily basis. He had to make caves in mountains so that the railway could go across. What would he do? He would go and put some dynamite powder in the spot where it was supposed to blow. Then he would put some sand on top of it, and then he would use a bar, an iron bar, to gently press the explosive and the sand. He had done this many times in his life, but one day apparently he pressed too tight, too much, and there was an explosion, and the bar that he was using went through his skull, crossing his eye, and out again. This is the accident. He suffered from this terrible accident. Okay. It is not that the bars got stuck in his face. The bar went out again. What did he do? He fainted. And his co-workers took him and put him in a cart, a horse-ridden cart, at that time in the west, far, far west. And they took him to the village. And in the village there was only one doctor. So the doctor looked at the horrible accident and he put band-aids or something, and he sent him home. So after a few weeks, when he could finally get up, he decided to quit his job. And he decided to go around the United States showing his deformed face and charging a few coins for it. He changed drastically. His character, his temperament changed a lot. No wonder. And he became very cranky and very bad-mouthed. And he finally died 12 years after the accident. The thing is that he was on the newspaper because it was such a small village and nothing happened. So when he had the accident, finally, front line heading, there was an accident in our little town, yes? And many years passed, and scientists in the United States, they read about his case, and they wanted to know what happened. Psychologically speaking, why did he change? And linguistically speaking, why didn't his language change? Like, why is it that he could still speak? Okay, he lost an eye as well. Okay, the thing is that they started finding out about his relatives, and they found that he had a sister. So the scientists went to his sisters, they knocked on the door, they said, "We would like to exhume the body." Exhume means to dig it out again. The sister said, "Yes, for a small price, anything is possible," she said. So she allowed them to exhume the body, and they started analyzing everything related to his brain and his language, and also the psychological side. This is how a new science was born, the science called Neurolinguistics, which is a branch of Psycholinguistics. Neurolinguistics was born with the case of Phineas Gage there. Okay, please do watch all the videos, the links that I'm going to put, because you need to distinguish between Broca's aphasia and Wernicke's aphasia. Goodbye. See you soon. Yeah, and I would like to have this live conversation with you. So we're going to use Zoom probably, and I really need to see you all again, because this is the last lesson on introductory linguistics. We're going to do the practical thing. We need to see each other. Believe me. Goodbye. See you.